Welcome to Books Mandala's YouTube channel. In this channel, we talk about everything and anything related to books. So in today's video, I will be talking about the Shatter Me series, the first 3 books of the Shatter Me series by Tahereh Mafi. So the first 3 books being Shatter Me, Unravel Me, and Ignite Me. And I will be giving a spoiler-filled review of the first 3 books, how I felt about the first 3 books. So if you haven't read the first 3 books yet, I suggest you click out of this video and watch our spoiler-free review of this series, and we will be putting a link to that in the description of this video. First read the Shatter Me series back when Defy Me or Restore Me was just recently out, and I wasn't a big fan of the second part series, but I was a huge fan of the first part series because it just is better in my opinion. And the Shatter Me series, the first book is really good, but it does not have a lot of world building, especially when it comes to the magical abilities. The world building is kind of shallow. It is not the best, but the magic system and the characters, they're very compelling. Our main characters, Juliette, Aaron Warner, Kenji, they're so lovable and they're so interesting. They're like interesting characters with complex emotions, and how we see Juliette going from a weakling in this book, scared of her own powers, to actually defeating Paris Anderson, Aaron's dad, is very cool. Also, the enemies to lovers in this book is really interesting as well. I wasn't expecting an enemies to lovers at all. I wasn't spoiled for this book at all. And I thought Adam Kent was gonna be the end game, but I am so glad that he did not, because so in the first book, Juliette is in the mental asylum, and in the second book we see her journey in the Omega Point, and we meet characters like Sonia and Sarah, the healer twins, Castle, and other members of the Omega Point. And we also discover that James, Adam, and Aaron are brothers. So James is Adam's brother, full-blooded brother, but Aaron, who is the villain of this book in the first book, is the half brother of Juliette's love interest in the first book. And that was really interesting because I did not expect that as well. And the last book, Ignite Me, the last book of the first part series, Ignite Me, is so interesting. I cannot even begin to express my love for this book because it is so amazing. Juliette's powers are so great in this book, and it is not developed to the fullest extent, but it is developed as such. But what I did not like about this book was that the ending was very rushed. I do understand that Shatter Me series is like more romance than fantasy, but I still expected more world building and action in the last book, which I did not get. But I was a big fan of the romance, and Aaron Warner and Juliette, their chemistry is so unique and so great. So Aaron is the type of person who has the touch her and I'll kill you vibe, and he hates everyone but Juliette. I mean, he literally hates everyone but Juliette. So let's talk more about the world. In this world, there are no birds and everything is slowly dying. The nature has full on been devastated by everyone, and there's this thing called Reestablishment, and the Reestablishment is promising people that they will be giving a better life for everyone, but that is clearly a hoax because the Reestablishment are the main villains of the book. And Aaron Warner's dad, who is one of the leaders of Reestablishment, is one of the main antagonists of the book, and we see how terribly he treats Aaron, like just a piece of bubblegum stuck in his shoes or something like that. The way Aaron's dad, Paris, I guess that's his name, treats Aaron is so Also, I wanted to talk about Aaron's mother's power. So we know that Juliette has the power to kill anyone or harm anyone that she touches, but Aaron's mother's power is basically that if she is touched by someone, she gets hurt. So Aaron's mother's powers is the opposite of Juliette's powers, and when Aaron reveals this, I was absolutely devastated. I cried. The second book wasn't my favorite. The second book just revolved around Omega Point and the day-to-day thing that happened in Omega Point. So we saw a lot of Castle in this book, and Castle is an interesting character, but I did not vibe a lot with him. I still don't. Also, what was very interesting in the second book is that we see the real side to Adam Kent. So Adam actually goes, you know, ferocious with Juliette when Juliette expresses her concern for Aaron, and then we all went from being Team Adam to Team Aaron instantly. And when Aaron's name was revealed, so in the first two books we don't know the first name of Warner. So Warner, our supposed antagonist of the first book, is just called Warner in the first book, and as we proceed, our curiosity gets more intense. Like, we want to know what his first name is, and then we find out that his first name is Aaron, and Aaron literally loves Juliette calling Aaron Aaron. Let's talk about Kenji as a character. Kenji, I think, is a very, very compelling character, and he is filled with humor, and he is the kind of character that makes everyone laugh. And what is the nice thing about the second part series is you get to read about Kenji's point of view. So in the first three books you don't see Kenji's point of view, but in the last three books you do, and that is really interesting. We see a more entire look into Kenji's mind. And the friendship that Kenji and Juliette have is so great. That is the platonic friendship of ever. I mean, one of the best platonic friendships ever. And the last ending battle scene in Ignite Me was also very fun. How Juliette actually went to Anderson's ship and she destroyed everything. It was so fun to read, so action-packed and absolutely thrilling. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time I was reading this. And let's also talk about Aaron's ability. So Aaron's ability is basically he can take the ability of everyone else. I don't know how to explain this. Kenji has the ability of invisibility. Juliette has the ability of the fatal power, fatal touch. So Aaron's ability is power sensing, energy sensing. So he can kind of low-key read your mind, but not really. He can redirect your power, and he can use your energy as well, and he can sense the vibe that you give off. So if you have a burning hate for Aaron, he can feel it. And Adam's ability is basically power negation. So he is immune to every single thing. So he was immune to Juliette's touch, and he is immune to other powers as well. Lastly, these books are really great and they're so short. That is one thing that I loved a lot about this book, how short it was and how easy to read it is. And it has unique writing, so the writer basically crosses out words and sentences as well, and stunning cover as well. So if I had to rate these books, I would give Shatter Me 3.5, 4 stars. I'd give Unravel Me a 3.5 stars, and I would give Ignite Me a 4.5 or a 5 star. It is that good. But when I first read it, I think I gave all books 5 stars.